Welcome guys to another Tour de Northamptonshire here with Pedro, aka Midlands Explorer, and we're off today on a quite windy day. It was raining all last night and we are off to a couple of new villages. We're going back to Twywell, but this time we're going to go to the plantation where the forest is, which is well known to be haunted. Then we're off across to Woodford, which again has a church with some strange things, including a picture of a ghost. Then we're going to bear left and we're going to go south slightly and we're going to head towards Thrapston. From Thrapston we'll go up towards Sudborough, and then from there we'll make our way back to Walkton, which was one of the first villages I filmed here in Northamptonshire. Now, big shout out to a lot of people today, but I'll come to that a little bit later. We're going to see lakes, former moats where quarries were. We're going to see forestation. We're going to see plantation. And we're going to see some other bits and bobs, including old churches. So without further ado, guys, let's go. Follow me. I've got my helmet today, my bottle for refreshments, and it looks like it might rain here, there and everywhere, but I'll be back in time to watch Nottingham Forest on Sports Channel later, because Nottingham Forest play Huddersfield today. If you're a Liverpool fan, I want to say congratulations to you for winning the Premier League. And yes, this is me, no beard at the moment, I had to cut it off. See you soon. How do these things go on? Right guys, there we have it. I'm all nice and warm. Crisps, refreshments, all ready to go, guys. Don't wear these helmets every day, but you know what? Down the slip roads and A14 that we got to go through, I think it's well worth it. Right guys, follow me, yeah? Let's go. Right guys, we are back in Cranford on our way to Twywell plantation. And if you remember, we were down here the other day. It's going a bit slower to show you where we are. Quite knackered already. I've just come miles on a one slip road. We were down here to the left last time, where we were in Cranford St John, which is just down there behind this forest down here. Going over an old railway bridge now, and we're heading towards Twywell, and seeing quite a few sheep about. There it is, it says it there. Cranford Duck End is down here to the left, which is where I came from the other day, and we're heading now towards Twywell Dales and Nature Reserve, although I'm bearing a right and I'm going to carry on down to where the forest is, which is supposed to be haunted, guys, by some farmers who used to live in this area many moons ago. Morning. There's plenty of cyclers about like myself, and yeah, we're heading down there now. It's going to get a bit steep. Follow me. Here we have it, guys. We're in the middle of Twywell plantation. Now, it's covered in different plants down here, but this neck of the woods, literally this neck of the woods, is supposed to be haunted. Now, we're on bike, and I'm not obviously going to go on the bike along here, so I'm going to lift my bike up. But I'm just going to show you this exact point where I am is where a farmer who died approximately 100 years ago has been seen, the ghost has been seen walking around here, and then into Woodford itself, which is over there, which we'll go in a minute. And apart from that, there's also been seen in the past a woman who was the girlfriend of some king here in the past who used to reside here nearby. She's been seen as well in a white robe. Now, I can't see anything, obviously, If anyone else sees anything, let me know right below. And if anyone knows any more history about this place and ghosts that have been found, there's quite a few ghosts that have appeared around this area in general, in Woodford as well, where we're going very shortly. We're also off to Thrapston today, where there's a few lakes. Then we're going north towards Sudborough, and then back across to Walkton. It's a shorter ride than normal, but it's also quite long in miles, okay? We're talking about 12, 13 miles again. The other day I did about 18 or so. So, without further ado, guys, let's show you this forest. Come along, follow me. By the way, guys, this down here would have been an old railway track, like many used around here. This one went to Twywell Station. I'll tell you a little bit more about the history of Twywell Station, because it's got a lot of history linked to mine ores as well as limestone. But it would have gone down here, where you can see this moat thing down here. Got the A14 over there, which I had to take a little bit of it to get to here. Very busy road. I'm trying to work out where them people went, if they were people. Just coming across here, I've left my bike there on that trail. Found some more interesting things. Basically, we're on a ridge here, and here we have another kind of moat here. Let's not forget, all this land was for quarrying in the past, and yeah, there's still, you can still see where maybe this was an entrance to one of the stations where the limestone was carried down, or the ore. All I do know, guys, is they're definitely spooky. They're definitely well known for hauntedness, for ghosts and paranormal activity. And I'm trying to work out still who I saw, because I've gone all the way down here now to where the person would have been walking. Let's say it was a person. I would have caught up with them by now, because I'm on a bike and I have not seen anyone at all. There's old, don't know if you can see that, there's old brick here to my right hand side as we're coming down here. Slabs. Was there a bridge here? Could have been a bridge here to this part here, or could have been just the end of the line here. I know there was different entrances to the quarries itself. It's very interesting anyway. As you know, this is all now called Twywell Dales and Nature Reserve, but it's quite obvious to see as well that there's still parts here in the land which would have been something. Personally, I think it was to do with the train station, because there was a station down here in Twywell. And we're going to go and tell you a little bit more about, oh, found something else, a bit more about Twywell itself in a minute. But here we go again. So I told you, as I saw, there was a building over there, and now I can see there's another building here. So, as I say, could have been a bridge across to this side, not quite certain. It's pretty cool here, there's no doubt about it. And yeah, challenges are to come here at night, see what we can find, who we can find, if we can find anything, if we see another person in white like I saw. I'm just not sure which way they went. I've come up one road, gone down the other one, I've come up here, I've come back down, and I simply can't see anybody. So I don't know, guys, what you think of this, but if you know anything, let me know. If you see anything as well that I might not see, let me know. Welcome again then to Midlands Explorer, here today on another tour de Northamptonshire, as I say, on my bike. We're here at Twywell Plantation it's called, which is part of the nature reserve where I was the other day on tour 1. And we're aiming back upwards now as we go towards the old village of Twywell and then across to Woodford. Quite a few bits of brick on that side again. So it's quite interesting here. I'm quite chuffed I come here actually. Again, just where I'm walking now, there's a bit of stone. So some building was here. We can't find a lot on this part, end of the woods, neck of the woods even. They don't give you a lot of information on the history, it just tells you it's all quarries here. But as I say, I knew there was a train station down here somewhere, and that down there I'm assuming was a bridge. I want to take this opportunity to give a big shout out to the usual people that I say hello to, the two Liams, Joe Cass. Hope you're doing well, buddy. What are you up to in your travels? A big hello as well to Ashley and your missus in Arnold in Nottingham. I also want to say hello to Adam, to Matthew, to D-Flows if you're watching, and your missus and your kid. Hope you're all well. A big hello and welcome as usual to my editor who will be watching this and editing it. That is Notts Explorer, N-O-T-T-Z Explorer. And your dad Terry, and your mum Anne Marie, and the little dog Zeus, of course. Be looking forward to coming on adventures with him in the future. Another big hello to everybody else who knows me in Nottingham and now in Northamptonshire. I'm building quite a repertoire of fans, especially on Instagram. Hello to Matthew as well, who we met, where was that? We met him at Woollerton Park, photographer. Darren Wheatley, another photographer. And a big hola, ¿cómo estamos? A todos mis amigos en España, Valencia, Játiva, Gandía, Madrid. Aquí estamos en un bosque que tiene cosas antiguas, que aquí había minas, y estamos aquí otra vez en otro tour de bicicleta, esta vez mirando pueblecitos y plantación, que aquí era una mina, como te digo, y ahora es un parque natural. Bonsoir, ça va tous mes amis dans la France? J'espère que tout va bien. Je suis ici à Twywell, que c'est dans le district de Northamptonshire, dans le sud de Angleterre. Guten Tag, wie geht's? A bit of German there. Konnichiwa, a bit of Japanese. Denki desu ka? From my travels in Japan when I was younger. And Mahaba to all my Arabic friends. Salam alaikum. Ciao. Tu va bene? Italian. I don't know what else to say, but I know a few languages, as you know. BTS fans who've been watching my videos in the past. Sarane. Annyeonghaseyo. That's about it for the languages for the moment. And let's head now towards Twywell. Follow me. Midlands Explorer. I thought I heard something, guys. Could be anything here. Could be. Here's more rubble here. There's definitely stuff here. I'm just trying to find out and locate where the station was. I believe it was down here. We're going to tell you a little bit more about that in a minute. We can also see quite a few different distinctive rocks down here. I'm not riding here on purpose not to mess up my wheels. I always find more than I anticipate on these journeys. So I might take slightly longer than I thought I would. But you know, it's all good fun. I enjoy these rides. And I'm not too sure where this is coming out to, guys, but it's interesting. You can see another big entrance here to this forest. As I say, guys, well known to be haunted. So if you see anyone or see anything like I did earlier, please let us know. This must be one of the main paths up here, and that's out towards the village where I'm going now. I'm just gonna bear right here. There were the moats on the left hand side. This is one of the main entrances, but you can still see how things are carved out So how there was different moats everywhere belonging to the mines. It's really cool in here. That part where I was earlier, which is supposed to be haunted, is where I saw something, and up here is where some of the mines were, and you can still see how certain things are caved into the, or carved into the actual woodland now, where you can imagine where mines would have been. So it's really interesting. I just fell in a hole, no change there. I've been stung by many nettles again, although this time I've got leggings on under my shorts. But yeah, it's a really cool place to come here, Twywell. I recommend. Now we're off to the village, guys, and then we're heading down towards Woodford. Just found out, guys, there is a dog training thing here every so often. If you come here yourself, you can see it yourself. I'm not giving out details on my channel, but there is dog training in these woods. Now we're heading towards Twywell itself with a little bit of history. I'm going to sit down and tell you a bit about that, and then we've got to go slightly down Kettering Road to come back on ourselves to get to Woodford, because it's slightly out the way. I'm not crossing the A14, that's for sure. So there we have it in the background where we just come from, that forest there, and we're heading towards Twywell itself. It's an English village, and in the civil parish, and it's near the Farmers Hills and Dales, which is over there, not far from Thrapston, where we'll go later. Anyway, guys, it's beautiful here, and as I say, this was all part of the old mines and Dales, of course. And where we're going now has got a population of approximately 170 people, and the word Twywell derives from two Old English words meaning springs or streams. So let's get a little bit closer to that village. Right, guys, we are in Twywell itself, and I'll tell you a little bit more about this place in a minute. There's the old Friar there, which is now a pub, obviously closed under lockdown. We're going to head that way towards Woodford anyway. There's the Greystone cottages on this side, and then up there where we're going in a minute is the actual church of this village. So welcome to Twywell. Little gnome here. He's even got a mask on, if you can see that. It's quite funny. As I was saying, guys, this village, okay, of a population of approximately 170 people, derives from two Old English words meaning springs or streams, and it's recorded in the Domesday Book, and it's of Iron Age, and it was preserved, well, it is preserved in the archives of Thorney Abbey. And the manor house here, which I'm not sure exactly where it is, unfortunately, though, is dated back to 1591. And I'm just going to tell you a little bit more about this place and the church when we get closer to it, because there's some notable buildings in this village. As I told you, it was an iron ore and quarry area, and the site is known as the Money Holes. Why is it called the Money Holes? I don't know. If you do know, let us know. And it was, well, some of the building materials in this village, which we're going to see more extensively in a moment, were from an old monastery situated between Slipton and Sudborough. Slipton, where we were the other day, and Sudborough, where we're going in a moment. And some of the brickwork here was taken from Twywell station by a cable work tramway as an unknown gorge, possibly the one we saw down in the forest before. And yeah, it's really interesting. We're just going to go past the old church in a minute, and then we're going to head towards Woodford. So as I was saying, guys, some of the materials used here, look, this is where the old post office would have been. Some of the materials here were built from materials that were coming from a monastery that was situated between Slipton and Sudborough. That's a pretty old building there, really pretty. There was also a brickworks in this area that closed in 1892, and as I say, it was taken from Twywell Station by a cable work tramway. And they said they're not sure where the actual gorge was. Now I think personally it was down in the forest where we were, because the station was on the lower part, now where the A14 is. So that's my guess, just looking at this here, from 1660, this old post office. And nice building, especially this one across there. I'm quite fascinated with that one. Apparently in 1923 a German system of locomotives were introduced to the area as a way, so they were German steam locomotives, as a way of transporting ore and limestone to the quarries. Right guys, it looks like it's going to rain to me, so I'm going to head off to Woodford, but I'm going to go via the church just so we see it. It's just up there to the left. Follow me.
Slide right to stay on the green, then turn left onto Church Lane.
So guys, you can see another fine example of church architecture in this part of the country. With another gargoyle, what is it with me? Gargoyle up there. This is called St. Nicholas Church, and got quite old brick on it, I've got to say. It's got different styles, but it's got some very nice tombstones as well. So I'm just going to have a little look around here. Follow me. Just there to the left, by the way, guys, I've just been told a monk has been seen in the past coming out of that way, that doorway where there's no door left. And we can't go in, it's completely locked off, which is annoying, but you might be able to see that door there on the left hand side. As I say, there's been a lot of ghostly findings around here anyway. There's the gargoyle on top of the clock. Here we have it, guys. We've got another ford here, and we've got Woodford at the top of this hill. And we've just come under the A14, and that heads back up to Thrapston again, so we'll come back this way later, guys. Hey guys, as I was saying earlier, Woodford was in two distinct parts, okay? That up there to the north side, and down here, the lower part, alongside the River Nen. Now, Woodford itself is from Neolithic village, named after wood and ford, as I was saying. And the lower part down here, along the River Nen, this is the beginning of the River Nen that joins up with the River Ise, like I told you last time. The westerly part of Woodford is up there in the Nen Valley, and it's got a parish church here called St Mary the Virgin, nicknamed the Cathedral of Nen. And that's why I'm going to go up there to talk a little bit more about this church with a lot of history and with a few strange things. Got a bridleway here. And yeah, right guys, I'm gonna ride up that hill now, so I will see you very soon. Found some chickens. Always find animals on my journeys. At the top of the hill now. Thought I'd take a pause. I found a load of chickens. Here at a local farm, guys, right at the top of this road, Woodford. Before we get into the village itself, I've seen some goats in the back there as well. That's about the best I can do. It's really cool finding anyway. You know I like finding my little videos of animals. And we're going to carry on into Woodford itself, and I'll tell you a little bit more about the church when I get there. Just got to the top of this hill. It's good exercise bike, I'll give you that. Very good exercise. I'm assuming this is the entrance to the farm. But yeah, follow me. I'm heading towards the village of Woodford. So here we have it, guys. Woodford. Much more modern than other villages around here, but the church has a lot of history, and therefore we will go to show you the church itself. Here we are with the old signs, says there Woodford. It's very windy here, guys, as we're on top of a hill here. Go towards Addington that way. The old Pound Lane here, little picturesque little alley down there, lovely cottages as usual, and I don't know if you can see that, there's a soldier there with a mask on, funny enough, but here we are in Woodford, the memorial to the left, the old pub there, the Dukes. It's all linked to things in this area, you know, as I told you the other day. Nen Way is where we're heading down. We're heading down towards the village, so the old village itself. Come and have a look. Yeah, this village of Woodford is much more modern than other villages I've been to. But we are in the older part now, down here, although a lot of houses were converted. And there's a lot of styles here, old to new. And it's quite lovely, I still like it, I think it's very picturesque. And it's an enchanted place here, very enchanted. That was the main road I should have come down. And there we have it. So we are at the Church of St Mary the Virgin. It's really beautiful here, the old manor house there to the left, and these cottages to the right hand side. As I say, this village is quite modern compared to other villages I've been to, but it's still extremely beautiful. Just this gate here to come in is very nice. And we're going to give you a little bit more information on this church now as we get closer to it here in Woodford. So here we are at St Mary the Virgin. Now this church has a few curiosities inside, including a mummified human heart wrapped in coarse cloth even. It's got different eras to the church itself, and as I say, it's got a mummified human heart that was discovered in 1867, which is quite strange. Beautiful entry here, quite old this part. There's different eras built with this church though. And also in here, guys, very worth noting and telling you guys, is the well-known newspaper cutout of a ghost. And apparently it's a ghost that frequently comes to this church. Doubt it will be open, which is a shame. Under lockdown, everything is closed. But as I was saying, this church, okay, apart from having two strange things inside, it was built in the 12th century. However, it's got features from the 13th, 14th and 19th century as well. There's nice little windows here. I'm just gonna have a little gander around the church and tell you a little bit more about the village itself, because there was 3 quarries around here between 1867 and 1892, and we've already seen examples of the land today of how you can tell where there were the quarries by the different landscape. But it's like Woodford House, for example, that is nearby here, which is locked off at the moment, okay, was home of the Arbuthnot family. Now, they arrived and they owned the area in 1826 because of the iron ore quarries. And just down there we can see the Nen River again. And it's old, but it's modern, if that makes sense, this church, because it's got different parts to it. This is the main entrance to worshippers nowadays on this side. And yeah, it's quite fascinating, this church. It's newer than other ones we've seen, but it's also very pretty, especially the entrance I just showed you a few minutes ago. We've got a saint there, obviously Mary, and we've got nice stained glass windows here as well. There's our lady up there, Saint Mary. I'm happy we came here because it's slightly different to all the other churches we've seen, but it does have its interest as well. As I say, it's well known to have a ghost in here, and it's quite long as well, this church, if you look at it. And there we have the Nen Valley with the Nen River, which I'm going to show you in a second, just behind us down there. And we're heading off towards Thrapston, which is about 3 miles from here. And down at Thrapston we're going to see some lakes, and then we're going to go up towards Sudborough, which is another quarry place, and then head back towards Walkton. Hit the like button, tell me what you think of these videos, share, subscribe of course, and remember to follow and watch Knots Explorers videos as well, who is the editor of my video blogs. Remember earlier, guys, I was telling you about Twywell Station. Well, from here some of the quarries had a connection to a tipping dock east of that Twywell Station, and they were connected by a horse operated 4-foot gauge. Now that came from somewhere in this village down towards Twywell. So it's quite interesting, because obviously all this area was mining, and as we've been on our first video, Tour de Northamptonshire episode 1, we showed you quite extensive information on that again. So it's quite interesting, and it's a beautiful little church again here. For example, down to the right here, which I'm going to show you now, were the remains and are the remains of a manor house dating back to the 13th century. And as I told you, there were 3 quarries here, and the 3 quarries, look at them stunning houses. I love these old houses, slightly more new than other cottages we've seen, but still well preserved. There was medieval settlements in this area. There's houses on the high street where we came down earlier, which are quite picturesque, and there's a cottage called Shayham. There's the rectory, and there's a roundhouse in this village. There's also a roundhouse which is now a house itself in Thrapston, which we will show you as we get closer. There we go with the River Nen in the background. And as I say, the whole area, obviously with its 3 quarries, was also known as the 3 Hills. Round barrows, as though they're called as well. And there's less monuments and sculptures on this church compared to the older churches, but it's still stunning, and I really like it. And I don't know if it's me, but I think that steeple is slightly bent, not as much as Chesterfield, that's well known for that, but it looks to me slightly bent. But I've just been told I can't film around here. I don't know why, but that's fine. So before we leave, guys, I've been told I can film here, just not around the cemetery part, by the local gardener. Anyway, as I was telling you earlier, guys, this church is well known to be haunted by a ghost, and the whole area is supposed to be, but they've got a newspaper cutting here of the ghost that was in this church originally, and it's been seen here. And it wasn't that long ago when they spotted that. And as you know, the Twywell Forest where I came down earlier is also well known to be haunted. So predominantly this whole area is well known to be haunted. And if you're into your haunted and paranormal activities, then find out about this church, St. Mary Virgin, and it will tell you all about it. I'm heading off now towards Thrapston, guys. Here we are in Thrapston, guys. Here we are, guys, at the famous 9 Arch Bridge here in Thrapston. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about this place here on the River Nen. You see how big the River Nen is here compared to how we saw it further down where we first found it near Twywell. And yeah, stunning bridge. And tell you a little bit more information now. Follow me. There's obviously a canoe service here for people to hire normally, but not in lockdown season. But it would go from here, just here to the right hand side. We're mainly here, guys, to show you a bit of the old town on Chancery Lane, where we've got a few notable buildings, and the church being St. James the Church. But apart from that, we'll look around a little bit. We'll head towards the sailing club and the lakes, then back towards Islip, and then up to Sudborough. So as I say, here we are today in Thrapston. With a population of approximately 6,300 people here in Thrapston, it was and is an industrial town. Hi again, guys. I'm just letting you know, weather update. It seems it's going to rain, and that's going to ruin slightly one of my plans to go up to Sudborough. But that doesn't matter, because what I'll do next time is go through Walkton, through Slipton again to Sudborough and Brigstock, which is another place I plan to go. So for today's journey, we're going to end up here in Thrapston. Also, I need to get back home base in the next hour and a half. I need to be there because I want to watch Nottingham Forest against Huddersfield. So with the weather being a bit off and it looks like it might rain, I'm going to finish today's video in Thrapston. I just want to thank everybody. I'm going to show you a little bit more, obviously, as we get in there. We're going to talk a little bit more. But I do want to thank everybody, as usual, for watching these videos. And as I say, tour 3, we will be going Walkton, back through Grafton Underwood, up to Brigstock, then down to Sudborough, and then back round again. That will be my next one. But here today in Thrapston, a beautiful little town, we're just going to show you the old town with St James's Church, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more information on this area because there's a lot about Thrapston you guys may want to know. So follow me to St James's Church. Some sort of old factory. I think it's still in use. This side is anyway. The other side is abandoned. But it might have some history behind it, guys. So we need to come and have a look at this if anyone's interested. Found an abandoned building here in Thrapston. Heading across now to the church, guys. And I'll tell you a little bit more information about this Thrapston itself. Yeah, it's a warehouse now. Although it's closed off on this side, it's still part of the garage on the other side, guys. So there's no entry. That's a shame. Here we have it. Here in Thrapston, another church with a steeple. Just want to remind you guys that also located near Thrapston was 2 old Roman roads. And Roman artifacts have actually been found here. Coins, Roman glass and a few more things. There's also a cemetery here with Anglo-Saxon and Norman skeletons. So there's quite a few things to do in this village with history, which is quite interesting. Load of old gravestones again, as you find quite often in these places. And 2 Norman knights, by the way, lived here in a house, and they were called Odelin and Oger the Breton, Breton being from France. And as I say, Chancery Lane, where we found that abandoned building down there, down there, Chancery Lane, where we found that abandoned building down there, was well known, and it was a site of an old castle. In fact, the whole area here was known as an old castle. There was an old castle around here. And in 1205, Boldon de Vere requested the permission of King John to hold a market town here in Thrapston. And every year there's a charter fair here. Don't know about this year because of lockdown. Yes, it's definitely raining in some parts, so we're not going to where we were expecting to go, to Sudborough, but we'll go next time. Down there obviously is that abandoned building I saw earlier. Again, I'll situate it on the map and we will go next time. Now, for today's tour number 2, I want to thank everybody for watching. Subscribe, like, share, whatever you want, guys. You can also find me on Instagram, and on Instagram it's the same, Midlands Explorer. Exploring since 2019, and I want to thank everybody. I want to say big merci for my French viewers, gracias for my Spanish viewers, and until next time, guys, from me to you, goodbye, enjoy. anyway, this is the end of my video. If you're watching, Brett, welcome, and I found a fishing place for you. I know you like fishing, and anyone else who likes fishing as well in Nottinghamshire that I know. Here we are in Northamptonshire. You can fish on here, I've been told. This location is called Thrapston, Thrapston. Right guys, that's enough for today. Hope you've enjoyed my video. Very windy. Looks like the weather is clearing up again, but it's a bit overcasted, so I'm not too sure of the idea of staying here too long. Until next time, thank you for watching. Bye bye.